Okay, everyone, we're live. Hello, welcome back. And today I am joined by Cade, and he and I are just gonna be having a discussion after we had an interview thing that didn't go quite as planned, but still we're here talking, and just thought it would be fun to talk because we figured out then that you guys wouldn't know this, but we have a lot of the same opinions on movies, and we have some different ones which we were talking about before we turned on the stream. But it again, fun. So, Cade, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me on here. And when he was talking about what happened, it was all my fault. And I deleted literally the entire interview, but his top 10 movies. Basically, we had like an hour interview and I threw it into the garbage bin while I was uploading to YouTube and I clicked delete and I forgot that it needed to still be on my computer and then it deleted. So
Oh
what's going
yeah,
on,
yeah.
the viewer? Drew, how are you?
Yeah, it happens. Okay, yeah. Yeah, Drew says, "Hey everyone, what's up? I'm doing good. I'm doing good." Yeah. Every time he brings up the fact that he has the Logan thing, I'm always getting so much more excitement for Deadpool 3 because I'm in my work uniform right now because I work at the local theater. I'm going to be seeing that film a day early, I believe.
Dude,
So
okay,
I'm gonna.
that's probably not a bad place to start off, unless you had something that you
Oh
wanted
no no
to.
no no no! I had nothing planned.
Okay, so obviously I'm super excited for Deadpool and Wolverine.
Oh,
But how much weight do you think this has? I guess I don't think we've talked about the MCU necessarily too much. How much weight do you think this movie has to really be the make or break point for everything past Endgame and Far From Home and some of the other one-offs that have been fine since Phase 4 and Phase 5? Like, do you think this is a make or break? Like, they have to right some of the wrongs, or if they don't, then it's all over.
I feel like the MCU. They had such a good streak from Iron Man all the way to Endgame. Even if Deadpool 3 doesn't succeed, which with the amount of hype behind it, it's gonna succeed no matter what. It could be the worst movie of all time. It's still
Yeah,
gonna make money,
it's gonna make
and
money.
so yeah, the MCU. It's just like that's movies nowadays. If it sucks, too bad. If it makes money, yep, you're getting a sequel. There's a
Yeah,
lot of movies that are proof of that, even if they
yeah.
make sense or not. Despicable Me being one
But
of them.
yeah, no, I the Despicable Me franchise, that's definitely one where
It's not
I've
very easy to
yeah,
sequel.
no. I've talked to my girlfriend. She loves to go see them, and I have a little bit of a gripe with the way that they keep continuing to make films against some of the other brilliant animated movies and the stories that are being told. But if you make money, you're gonna keep making money. But I guess what I was kind of meaning is like for me, at least, I don't think the MCU is in a very good place. I don't think that story wise they know where they're going. There's story threads that are being left out. I mean, we have in the Eternals a giant Eternal in the middle of the ocean that's been sitting there for the past couple years, and we're not even referencing it in other movies. We have a movie with Thor: Love and Thunder where we have Gore the God Butcher killing gods, and we just got Moon Knight, who is like literally one of the Egyptian gods. We don't have him get brought up in any way, and I'm not saying like I know how to do it. I'm that's not what I'm saying, but I'm saying Marvel used to be anytime a character could get introduced, they did it seamlessly. But
Oh yeah,
now they can't even like it just feels like they're kind of off, but I actually have faith that Deadpool and Wolverine might be able to bring us back to where we once were. And I'm putting a lot of weight on them to kind of break the fourth wall and make fun of some of the things that they've messed up, and then also fix the multiversal stuff with the TVA and Deadpool. Do you
we know
have
that
that? Do you
they
have
they
that?
they've referenced a lot of it in the trailer.
Do
Like the
you but
trailer we saw.
do you have faith that they can fix it, or do you think it's going to be another flop?
I don't think it'll be a flop. I've seen the marketing like Hugh Jackman and Ryan
No,
Reynolds chemistry is always good. They are hilarious together. That's gonna enough to be giving me a pass. Like I am pumped for the film. I doubt it could be as terrible as like say like it can't be like the New Mutants level terrible. Like
mhm.
I mean it's not going to beat Logan. I doubt that. It's Logan is a phenomenal film. Trying to put it up against Logan is borderline terrible because Logan is just such a great
No,
comic book.
you're not gonna. It's not gonna be able to hit those metrics to be something like Logan. It's not even the same type of film. Like you can't really compare something like that. Like this film would be more comparable to something like No Way Home, where it's an event film. You're bringing back old characters and stuff like that. Multiversal, where Logan's more of a character drama.
Yeah,
Completely.
that's what I'm more worried about is that I even talked to my coworker about this. Deadpool's one of the funniest movies I've ever seen. I adore that film and it is hilarious. Logan, on the other hand, is one of the most grim, sad, depressing, violent films I've ever seen in my life. And when you try and class those tones together, there's going to be some stuff where I'm like, are they going to use Wolverine as a joke? Which, based on the trailer, it looks like they might. It looks like the tones are going to be clashing a little bit, and that's what I'm worried about.
Yeah, I know a lot of people they kind of had that fear when No Way Home was being made because the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies had a very Raimi vibe to them, and so did the Taz and Mark Webb films. But at least from just me looking at that, they were able to handle that very well when they came over. But the only thing is their roles, they were more than cameos, like Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield.
They actually serve the story.
Yeah, but this Wolverine is literally going to be one of the main characters. If not, he could have more screen time than Deadpool. We haven't seen the movie yet, so like, how is that going to work? And for me, I don't. This movie will not flop. You're completely right. This movie is going to make a ton of money. But I'm just really, really worried because if they can't fix some of the stuff with the multiverse in this movie, I don't know if they can. And I think you have problems going forward.
Deadpool 3 is very much, no matter what people say, it's going to be the make or break for MCU. Moving forward with their track record, some of their films may have still be positive on Rotten Tomatoes, like even if that's probably not true, like Thor Love and Thunder, unbelievably terrible. And it was positive on Rotten Tomatoes. And only 2 MCU films, I believe, actually, no, I think with the Marvels, it's now 3, are rotten on Rotten Tomatoes.
Mhm.
So that's gonna, it's not gonna, with all that in MCU's track record, with the way they've been going just steadily downhill, this is gonna be like, you gotta hit a home run or you're gonna just screw up everything.
Yeah, no, I don't even think a base hit here is nothing. Like just
Oh
having a
yeah, a
decent
base hit is just gonna be sad for
like
this thing.
if there was ever a movie to fix all of the wrongs, it's Deadpool because one, he can break the fourth wall, and two, he's from a different universe. Like he's not from the mainline MCU. So this is how you make everything make sense. You can make fun of what hasn't worked. You can even just say some of the stuff that hasn't worked isn't canon anymore, and people will think it's funny because it's Deadpool. Like
Yeah.
you have the perfect film here to get away with whatever you want. So just go and do it. Like I really have faith in this movie too. If I was gonna like say, can this movie do it and do I think it will happen? I would probably lean more towards like I think they're gonna do it. Like I don't think Hugh Jackman would have came back unless what they were working on was meaningful.
Yeah, you could use the example of Linda Hamilton in a Terminator 3. She read the script. The script is terrible. She
Yeah.
literally said, "This script is terrible. You're gonna kill me off halfway through. No one's gonna have time to process it. You're just gonna move on. F you. I'm not coming into this thing." And
Yeah.
she shouldn't. It was a dumpster fire. Then you get into Terminator Dark Fate, which a lot of people try and say is the worst Terminator film. Wait, you're not in that camp, are you?
And with Terminator Dark Fate,
Being the worst Terminator film.
I haven't seen Terminator Dark Fate, so I can't have any yeah.
Just it's not. But anyway, like people like to say it's a terrible film. If it was so terrible, then Linda Hamilton wouldn't have gone on. She had read the script ahead of time, like she did for T3, and she must have liked it to some extent. And she said that she did because it's easily the best. Not easily, Salvation's good. It's a very good sequel. So like that, and the fact that I mean, Hugh Jackman loves the character of Wolverine. He would not intentionally screw up this legacy. If he read the script and said this and thought the script was terrible, he's not going to ruin the legacy, especially after especially after we all know how much he loved the ending to Logan. He wouldn't screw that up.
He wouldn't have come back just for money. In the chat, Godzilla's asked the only yeah.
How's it going? I'm doing good. You?
I'm doing good for sure.
Face reveal, yes. Knew that was gonna be brought
This is the one I was looking at.
Yeah, I know. Godzilla. The only one I've liked from Phase 4, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Granted, I haven't seen most of Phase 4. No Way Home is good. Shang-Chi wasn't a big fan of. Everything else, blah.
Here's my question for you, though, because this is usually what most people say. They say No Way Home and Volume 3 are the two that, like, have been good since, like, Phase 4 started. Like, pretty much, like, most people would say that. do you even consider those really MCU films? Because for me, No Way Home is more one, an event film, and then two, a Spider-Man culmination of the Sonyverse with all those movies and not really an MCU project. Yes, there's a ton of MCU stuff in there, but it really feels like to me more of a culmination of everything Spider-Man. And then two, for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, that felt more like a James Gunn farewell than anything with the MCU. I mean, that movie barely has any, like, it's connected to the other Guardians films, but it doesn't really move anything forward with the MCU and the multiverse with any characters like that. So in my personal opinion, I don't even consider those wins for Phase 4. Like, I think that was a James Gunn win and that was a Sony win. I don't consider that an MCU win.
Yeah. I never actually thought of that, but I think Endgame is a beautiful, like, just farewell to the MCU. That the Infinity Saga is Iron Man to Endgame. Everything else, I consider an epilogue at best, or at least a culmination into a new phase of the MCU, like almost like a different version of it, like I would say almost the Secret Wars version of that, because we're getting one Avengers Secret Wars, which is going to be one of the last MCU films, I think. Well, if it makes money, probably not. That's almost always what happens, but I would consider it like that. But yeah, I would say Endgame is probably the last true MCU film, because again, I'm not a big fan of Far From Home. I know a lot of people are. I hate the writing in that film. The writing in that is unbelievably stupid. What do you think of that one?
Far From Home is very mixed for me. I think I did a short Spider-Man ranking, just like in a short of all the Spider-Man movies, and I think I had that third to last. But I personally believe that none of the Spider-Man movies have been garbage. Like, I think all of them have been, like, watchable. Like, I think you can watch all of them to some extent and have some enjoyment of certain aspects of the movie. So that's where I personally sit on Spider-Man. I don't think any of them have been bad, but Far From Home is definitely not. I really don't like a Spider-Man that's given everything. I really
Oh yeah.
I'm not a huge,
Iron Boy Jr.
yeah, I'm not a huge fan of that Spider-Man, but I do the Mysterio scene. I do like the visual effects and what they were able to do with the Mysterio stuff there.
I
Um,
agree. I also agree with the fact that, like, there's never been a bad Spider-Man film. Sure, things like Across the Spider-Verse, not one word out of you guys in the chat. I'm telling you that. Across the Spider-Verse, Spider-Man 3, like, trying to think, Far From Home, they aren't great, but they're watchable. Like,
mhm.
I don't consider, and I'm only talking about the ones that have Spider-Man in the name.
Yeah, you're not talking about the Sony
All
verse.
this, all the Sony the Sony movies can go to hell. Those things are terrible. I can't stand any of them. Like, especially Morbius and Madam Web. Those are dumpster fires. Especially Madam Web. That was
Yeah,
heck.
I'll agree with you. I'll agree with you on that. They're pointless. They're stupid. They're not good.
Oh yeah. Like, Venom, dumb writing. Venom, Let There Be Carnage, even dumber writing. And then yeah, again, all of them have dumb writing. And then I am desperately praying that the Craven the Hunter thing gets the Madam Web treatment and is completely scrapped altogether, because that looks like it might make Madam Web look like No Way Home. Like, it looks.
Yeah, none of all the Sony verse movies, all of them are bad.
Oh, yeah.
I do think Venom is enjoyable. Like, I can sit it down and turn off my brain and just have dumb fun with it,
But
but I don't.
it's pretty bad overall. You
It's
can admit that.
it's no, it's not good. It's 100% not good.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh man,
yeah,
that's one of the biggest disappointments I've ever had watching a movie. It's just.
really.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I was always looking forward to that one. I was always looking forward to seeing Venom just go carnage on people. Doesn't really happen.
Yeah,
Reservoir
they
Dogs.
when they changed it from R to PG-13, that's when I think things really set in for them making money instead
Oh,
of trying to tell a decent story.
yeah, that's what happens with a lot of movies. A lot of, like, Terminator did it. Die Hard did it. Granted, the fourth Die Hard's awesome. Expendables did it again. Expendables 3 is good. I'm gonna get some people hating on
Uh,
the one. Yeah, Reservoir Dogs is fire. Yeah, that's a reference to the fact that I don't like Reservoir Dogs much at all. Godzilla No Way Home was great. Oh yeah,
yeah.
Godzilla the franchise should have ended at Endgame. Yes, I would. Even though it wouldn't be easy, I would probably destroy Guardians 3 if it meant Endgame was the culmination. Or, even if it doesn't make sense narratively, we just destroy Thor the Dark World and we put in Guardians of the Galaxy 3 because that one is pretty bad. Or any of the other ones, I don't know. Godzilla, what do you think of the upcoming Venom: The Last Dance? Yikes! Oh boy, I did not.
I think it looks like the worst one that they've made
Oh
by
yeah,
far.
I know. Like I was really looking forward to when they had Spider-Man in it. Little did I know that they were intentionally hiding the fact that they were going to pull the rug out from under us and say, "Yeah, Spider-Man's in it. He's a kid. He's not going to be Andrew, Toby, Holland, which they were supposed to be." But they didn't thought
they retcon the MCU stuff. Did you see that in the trailer? They put the symbiote that was on the table
I
and
know
No Way
that.
Home. Yeah,
I was furious at that. Oh man, that was unbelievably stupid. That I'm not that. It might. I'm trying to think. It might be better written based on what the trailer looks. It might be better written than the first two, but it's certainly going to be the worst one. Like, there's no way. Like that was. I was furious that you're going to retcon getting a symbiote in the MCU. That would be awesome in Kang Dynasty or Secret Wars, but they'll probably retcon
especially
it.
because Secret Wars, it happens in the comic books. That's when he first appears.
Oh, it does?
I mean, I'm not the biggest comic book reader, but I'm pretty sure that's when he first gets the symbiote is in Secret Wars.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
Let me fact check that real quick.
Yeah, that's oh man. I am not looking forward to that film at all. Like just that not looking forward to The Last Dance. And The Last Dance is a terrible title. Let me end on that. It's an
Secret Wars number 8 is the first appearance of the symbiote.
Oh. Oh yeah, of course they MCU is trying to have, oh wait, no, you have to blame Sony for Sony.
That one's a Sony problem.
Yeah, wait. Can Sony even do that since technically the MCU does have some access to Holland? Are they even really allowed to do that?
I think Sony's allowed to do it because they used a Sony character. It was a Sony property. Like Venom was the one that left the symbiote.
So Venom was a character from Sony. They had access to do that.
See, I think the MCU, if they didn't want Michael Keaton to be in Morbius, they could have made that happen because it's their property, like their character. That stuff gets really confusing with Spider-Man.
Oh yeah, if it makes you feel better, he basically isn't in Morbius. He shows up for like 3 seconds in the post-credits.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. But even then, like, what are they doing with? I'm not even going to talk about those movies. They're not going anywhere, anyways. There's no point.
Yeah, but yeah, it's just they intentionally put Michael Keaton in the trailer to try and make some money. That's the only money. That's really the only money it made, which is sad because the film really did bad. The film did so terrible that they had to take it out of theaters just to stop embarrassing themselves. They then thought, "Oh man, this thing is a meme king. Let's put it back in theaters."
Yeah, I know that was hilarious.
Back out. That was hilarious. That was unbelievable.
Do you guys do you see what the View with Drew said?
Yeah, I'm this one?
Yeah, I've got them well, he's got all of them down there.
Can you okay,
ranked.
yeah, give me a second. I'll get to that. Carnage was a letdown and Let There Be Carnage. Yeah, he should have been R for sure. Godzilla, the title The Last Dance makes no sense. Just because Venom dances with Mrs. Chen, that's not an excuse. Give me a Carnage Fuel title. Can they seriously just pull a Mission Impossible and just rename the title real quick?
Yeah.
Why does Mission Impossible get to have a renamed title, but Venom doesn't? The title Dead Reckoning Part 1 and Part 2 is so cool. Okay, Thor, Iron Man 3, The Wolverine, Man of Steel. Ooh. You want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first. I maybe have a hot take here. I'll see what you say after I do them. But so I'm gonna go Thor 2 is in last place. Next, I'm gonna have the Wolverine. Then I'm gonna have Iron Man 3, and then I'm gonna have Man of Steel.
Whoa! The Wolverine is below Iron Man 3?
Yeah, I have a ton of fun with Iron Man 3. I really like getting to see a Tony Stark that isn't with his suit anymore and gets to come out, and I don't mind the Mandarin plot change at all.
Oh wow. Okay, I would go last Thor 2. Oh wait, that was Thor 2. I read that wrong. I thought it was Thor. Thor 2, The Dark World. Oh yeah, that's definitely last. Then it's Iron Man 3, then Man of Steel, then the Wolverine.
Okay. You're a huge Wolverine guy, aren't you?
Oh yeah, he's actually in terms of just with Hugh Jackman playing the character, he's my favorite superhero. if we're talking about Hugh Jackman. If we're just talking about period superhero, just character alone, probably Batman. But if I'm just going off a movie character, it's gonna be the Man with the Claws. It's
Yeah,
awesome.
I mean, definitely not a bad choice. Yeah, no, I wasn't even talking about Iron Man 3 or the Wolverine being switched. I was just talking about Man of Steel.
Oh,
Man of Steel has so many flaws in it, with their interpretation of Superman 100%. But
I don't really
I've really liked Man of Steel.
I don't really mind that because the character of Superman inherently is just this guy that always saves cats out of trees. Is just that is so tone deaf and just that is so ridiculous with a guy that wears his underwear on his outside. Just they needed to take themselves a little seriously and be a little bit
Mhm.
more dark instead of being so campy and dated in the older ones. That I think that this like I've only seen Man of Steel and the original Superman and BVS. Of those three, the original Superman for me is easily the worst of those three, and it's by a landslide. Like
Mhm.
I enjoy Batman v Superman for all its flaws. Really didn't like it when I first saw it. I've come around to it. Man of
Same.
Steel,
Yeah.
I really enjoy. It's one of my
The
favorite.
thing that I don't mind about BVS is that it's not a movie that was made purely, obviously all movies are made to make money, but it was a movie that Zack Snyder had a clear vision of what he wanted to tell, and even though it was very flawed, he got his vision out there, and it's
Eventually,
very extreme, and I love the passion behind the movie, even though I don't agree with half of the character portrayals in that movie whatsoever.
Lex Luthor. Oh boy.
Yeah, shocking. I also, the older Batman thing, you can't just hint at Robin being dead and being like, okay, it's good to kill. Like you have to show, like they needed more time to develop that. So that I have a huge problem with that. I've read a decent amount of the Superman comic books. So Superman is, I obviously my favorite superhero is Spider-Man, then Batman, then I really like Superman is around in there. Him and Wolverine are probably in that same boat for being the next spot up. But there's just so many Superman stories where it shows that the thing that makes Superman super is the fact that he always does the right thing and always figures out a way to do the right thing, kind of like Captain America and the Winter Soldier when he
Oh
decides
yeah.
not to kill Bucky. Like that, Captain America is my favorite movie character of all time, by the way. So
Oh yes,
yeah,
yes. Oh man,
I'm a
he's
huge
so good.
Captain America guy, and then Winter Soldier, that scene right there with Bucky,
Oh
that's
man,
what I
I love
envisioned Superman being like and always making those type of decisions. And for whatever reason, Zack Snyder couldn't figure out how to portray Superman that way, that it's not the superpowers that make him awesome. It's the fact that he has all those powers, but he decides to do the right thing. Zack Snyder just couldn't figure that out for some reason, but I still do enjoy a lot of the stuff that he did.
There's actually a movie called Brightburn, and it actually does the exact
Yeah.
same thing.
No,
Only
yeah,
it's
that's a
not as
James Gunn
intense.
film. Yeah.
It was produced by him. It wasn't directed. I know that,
Yeah, no,
but
no, it's
yeah,
just one of
it's one of those films that I'm not a big fan of. It sadly, because it only thinks it's like basically let's do exactly what you would think would happen if basically Superman was evil,
mhm.
and let's only do that, and
Yeah,
it's barely in the film.
there's nothing nuanced about it. Like at least you have you seen Invincible? I think we talked about that last time.
Invincible, I have not.
The cartoon.
No. That. No, I have not. I probably
Okay,
should.
cuz like and then have you seen The Boys?
No, I haven't
Okay,
had.
both.
That's not really a show made for me. I'm not really that type of humor type guy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, The Boys and Invincible, at least they have a portrayal, each of them a version of evil Superman
Oh yeah,
that that is very nuanced. With Brightburn, it's just like the most generic, like, oh, if Superman was bad, this would happen, and
oh yeah.
it doesn't take any interesting look at it. But yeah, that's my little I mean, I know last time we talked, I told you I like DC just from when I grew up and playing the video games and cartoons and stuff. I've always liked DC a little bit more than Marvel, so it makes me a little sad that some of their character interpretations that most people remember are the Snyderverse, which I actually am a fan of the Snyderverse, but I don't rate it, if that makes sense. Like I do enjoy what was made, but I do not like that was not a very good interpretation of what they were being shown.
I agree. Like Zack Snyder's Justice League, I know a lot of people aren't as high on it as me. I think my second favorite comic book film of all time. I adore that film.
Really?
I loved it. Like
Dude, that's awesome to find because I wouldn't rate it that high personally, but it's awesome to find another person because I mean so many people just ignored it. And we're
I
like
know.
they were like, I still think there's still a lot like for me, Batman is never going to be the guy that assembles the Justice League. That's just not who his character is. He's always the one trying to avoid the Justice League, and they have to beg him to come, and he's always more extreme. So I find a little bit of a problem with that. But see, that's not like a problem with the movie. That's just a problem with like my subjectivity to knowing who. It's like what I want Batman to be in that universe. He isn't, so I like it a little less. But I will say the Snyderverse Justice League is an awesome movie, and I have no idea how they didn't, like, the people in basically the suits in the room that were like, nah, we're not going to put this in theater. It's not good. Like, whoever was sitting down there and said that, like, they lost a lot of money that day.
I don't even know if they were. I don't even know if they had a choice because it was 4 hours, so that would have been a very hard thing to put in theaters. They usually can't put a movie that long, so I don't know if they really were. And I think it was a Max original. That's why. Okay, not a Max original, but it was a Max original.
Well, I mean, it was originally, that was the movie that was pitched to the room, and they said no, and that's why it got cut. The only thing is, like, at the same time, a movie like Oppenheimer, which is literally about some old scientist, which I love Oppenheimer. It's about literally some old scientist, was 3.5 hours long, and it almost made $1 billion. Like, you can't tell me there wasn't some room for them to cut out a little, because even Zack Snyder said that version, they filmed everything. That wasn't what they would have put in theater. They would have cut some of the stuff out. There wasn't some version of the movie that could have been put into theater and it do extremely well. Like, that's just my opinion, because I think it was epic. I think the ending is epic when you have Darkseid show up and he kills everyone, and then the Flash runs back through time. Like, dude.
That scene gave me
chills. Yeah, no. If that scene was in theaters, you can't tell me people wouldn't be going crazy.
Oh, no, they would have been freaking the flip out. Like, that scene, after I saw that film, I watched that scene several times a day for like at least 2 weeks. It's burning in my head. Like, that was awesome. Say what you want about Ezra Miller, that was awesome.
Yeah, no, you have to separate the art from the artist for sure. Because I mean,
that's my argument when people talk about Jeepers Creepers, the movie, the director Victor Salva.
Yeah.
He can go rot in hell for what he did. I will not deny that. The movie is solid.
Have you ever seen the YouTube channel Dead Meat?
No, I have not.
It's like it has like 6.5 million subs or something like that, but they basically just do kill counts from all horror franchises, and they show you all the kills from the movies and stuff. It's a really cool, really cool horror channel. But he refuses, the guy on there, he refuses to do Jeepers Creepers for those very reasons. Like, he just will not do them.
Oh, because he doesn't want to get people in the comments just destroying him.
Yeah. I'm trying to see. Do you see the comment section now? I just want to make sure that.
I keep forgetting to get away from this. Keep forgetting. Sorry, Godzilla. They needed time to develop the DCU period. Yeah, they went straight from their introduction all the way to planning their own Avengers because of how successful the MCU was, and they rushed it. They rushed the hell out of it. Godzilla, the Captain America trilogy is one of my favorite trilogies in the MCU. Yes, I give all three a 5 out of 5. I love all three of those.
I'm very, very close to that. I mean, I told you Captain America is my favorite, so they're going to all be very, very high.
I just love the first Avenger, even though it's probably my least favorite of the three. I love the score. I love the aspect of, like, his character being so noble. Like, I don't want to kill anyone. I don't like bullies, which I was a bit more bullied than more people, even if I am 6'3", so I could probably have killed some of them if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
But I was a bit more bullied because I'm one of those people, all bark, no bite when it comes to, like, my body. So, yeah, I resonate with that.
How would I rank the Captain America trilogy? Okay, so like he just said, all of those movies for me, very, very, I highly rate all of them. I think I would say it's the best trilogy in the MCU. That's where I would go. I wouldn't, I mean, you can't really include the Avengers movies. I don't think I mean, there's 4 anyways. But yeah, I would say it's the best trilogy. And so at number 1, I have the Winter Soldier. At number 2, I have Civil War. And at number 3, I have the first Avenger. But all of those films, now I have to preface this. If I think a movie is decent, I give it above a 5 out of 10. Like, an average movie is a 5 out of 10. So I'd probably start off Captain America, the first Avenger. I'd probably give that an 8 out of 10. Then I would give Civil War, I would give that a 9 out of 10. And The Winter Soldier, I think, is a perfect movie. It's one of my favorite movies ever. So I give that a 10.
I love that film. I love all three. Like, I used to not be as high on The Winter Soldier. It kind of traumatized me as a kid. But it's so is Civil War. But for some reason, that was my favorite. Maybe because it was kind of like Avengers 2.5.
I mean,
Anyway,
I don't think there's a bad answer on any of them. Honestly, it's just I think it's
exactly.
all subjective. Honestly, in the Captain America franchise, and which one you relate to the most of the stories that's going on. So
And then there's a small part of me when it comes to the Guardians movies where it's like the exact same thing because while 2 is the weak link, there's like a small little part of me
mm,
in there that's like, Stallone's in the second, you idiot.
yeah,
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 and anytime you put Stallone in a film, it's like, I kind of want to resonate with you having that one as your number one. I have to. Stallone's my favorite actor. I adore that guy.
mm,
Like he is awesome as Rambo. He's awesome as Rocky. He's awesome in like all of his more standalone films. Like I got this Blu-ray not long ago. It has Demolition Man, Over the Top, and Tango and Cash. Hold on.
yeah.
There you go. Have
Did
you
you
seen any
did you
of those?
did you wait? Show me again. I know I didn't see the last one. Show me again what all was on there.
Demolition Man, Over the Top, Tango and Cash.
I have not. I have not seen any of them.
Oh my dude, all of them are awesome. Demolition Man is extremely dumb and cheesy. Like
Mm,
my dad literally came in while I was watching it, was like, this is a very cheesy movie. He likes it, but he it's
yeah,
dumb.
yeah.
Like there's a point where how do I say this without trying to sound like I'm trying to say this without getting this entire thing taken down. Sandra Bullock asked to have sex with Stallone, and the way they have a punchline to that. They have a punchline, and because it's so futuristic and everything is so different, they don't show anything because the way that they have it, it's like with a computer thing. Just watch the film, you will bust out laughing. It's hilarious. Over the Top is one of the most sweet, just like father-son relationships
Mm,
ever. And Tango and Cash is probably my favorite buddy cop movie, even over the Lethal Weapon movies. I loved that film.
interesting. Yeah, no,
Oh,
I'll definitely have to check them out now. Did you watch
oh,
any of the Rocky movies yesterday for the 4th of July?
dang it! I knew I should have. I'm due to rewatch those movies, but no.
Nah, you
The last
all
movie from
good,
that
bro.
universe I watched was Creed 2. I did a little binge of the first 2 Creed movies and
Mm,
did a pretty good review on both. Like very long and just I was in a Stallone kick and it was like I had seen the Rambo 1, 2, and then for some reason I just went to Last Blood and then
uh,
I went to Creed 1 and 2 because those have some of the best performances. Not 2, not 2, not 2.
yeah.
2 is he's just cheesy over the top. But
Mm,
like 1 performance, like in the final moments where he starts breaking down and crying, performance is
yeah.
great. Last Blood, his performance is great. That entire film, there's many points where he goes full dramatic and it's awesome, even if he is still ripped and is just destroying people in that final in the final act. And then Creed 1 and 2, I was even talking with the coworkers today about this on how I will never, ever, no matter what the Oscars do, I will never forgive them for snubbing him at the Oscars.
Yeah.
Chronicles of Yarnia. Hey, Drew. Also, speaking of Thor, I will be doing a top 5 personal favorite Thor movie moments. Great. Chronicles of Yarnia, dude, you are getting close to 1,000 subscribers. Yep, I am very excited.
Dude, I'll shout you out on my channel again too to see if I can get you any stragglers to help you out.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 is my favorite Guardians movie. Interesting. I won't argue because Stallone is in it, even if it is for about 2.5 seconds. It's what can I say? I love that dude. Wait, have you seen any of the Rocky movies,
Oh, I've seen all of them.
including the Creed movies?
Yeah. Not Creed 3. I didn't see Creed 3.
It was messy, but it was fun. It was
Yeah. No.
but it
Yeah,
was fun.
I didn't. Yeah, no. I mean, yesterday I watched 1 and 2. They were on
Yes, sir.
TV yesterday. Yeah.
Oh man, they're so good.
Yeah, no. I watched 1 and okay. What is your favorite Rocky movie? 1?
The
4?
original, yeah. The
I,
4, it has a lot of problems, but it's good. It's good.
I know.
I
Yeah, no. I'm between 1 and 4 because like I can acknowledge Rocky 1 is definitely a better, like it's objectively better. It has the better writing, it has the better
oh
story, it has the better acting. But 4 is just such a time period piece that we're never going to get something like that again. And the characters are just so over the top that I just have so much fun with it. So like I'm caught between like, do I want to say the one that like is just so much fun, or do I want to say the one that I know is better? Like I get caught between what I want to do.
you are gonna adore Commando and Rambo vs.
Uh,
Blood Part 2
I've seen
and Rambo 3.
I've seen Commando.
Oh, what do you think of that one?
Also, just freaking insanely fun.
Yeah,
Yeah,
insane. It
yeah.
is so dumb. Like, especially like there's I believe the 4K version destroys kind of the film. Like, remember the part where what's his name, Sully, right? The one that he drops, where the one
Dude,
that he
I
drops.
honestly I can't remember any of the characters' names just because it's that type of film. Like I'm
The only
just
one I know is John Matrix.
yeah
But remember that part where he like dangles that guy off and he's like, I lied, and
yeah
then just drops
yeah
him. Like
yeah
when in the other, I think they upgraded to 4K and they had to use because just to be safe, they had to strap a line to that guy's shoe just to make sure he didn't fall in case Arnold accidentally let go. And in the 4K version, like it shows the string accidentally because 4K does that
yeah.
sometimes, and it just destroyed it. And I'm so happy I didn't see it completely on 4K. So I'm very happy. That film is so much fun and it is so dumb. Like that and
That's
Rambo First Blood Part 2 are competing for like the most fun movie of 1985. They were
yeah. That's
and
what
Rocky
my
4 came
dad.
out, I think, that year. Did Rocky 4 come out that year?
What
85.
year did you say? 84.
No, 85. 84 was a Terminator.
Yeah. I don't know. Let me look up when Rocky 4 came out.
If it did, then you had three very fun movies in a
It came out. It came out in 85.
Okay, yeah, I was right. Yeah, yeah. Stallone and Arnold were just like constantly competing then. Like that is hilarious. And Rambo, okay, then Rambo's First Blood Part 2 and 3, you're gonna adore. Those films are time capsules of the 80s for sure. Like
Oh,
Rambo
yeah,
3
100%.
especially. Oh yeah, like Rambo 3 especially, just like the plot alone, that is something that would not get made today. Like that, oh boy, there's a reason why it's not as high regarded. I think it was something about Russia. I think it was like that's the plot of it or something. There was a comment I saw on like a scene in Rambo 3, and it literally said, I am from, and it was like from whatever state where the bad guys were from in Rambo 3. And he said, I am from this place, and he
Yeah,
said, so obviously I don't like Rambo 3.
yeah, yeah,
Like it's like wow, the film got a lot of hate, which is odd because it's the most well reviewed of the Rambo sequels, while still being pretty badly reviewed. It only has a
yeah.
41% or something. I have no idea why. All the Rambo sequels are good. My least favorite's probably 3, but 2 and 3 are I'll go back and forth with. But
Rotten Tomatoes, you have to be careful of like how much you weigh their reviews of stuff. I always try to watch something on my own first to decide, and then I'll look at the score later.
exactly, like take a look at these. All three. Oh, this one is not a masterpiece. These two are. These two
Yeah.
are complete masterpieces. All three of these are horribly reviewed on
Mhm.
Rotten Tomatoes. Like Over the Top and Tango and Cash, woof, they are terribly reviewed.
Yeah.
And they are. Over the Top is such a sweet movie that the only like it's not like I doubt the critics have even seen these films. Like it's like almost every fantastic Stallone film, Rocky 4, Over the Top, Demolition Man, Tango and Cash, Rambo First Blood Part, I'll just say all the Rambo sequels. Rocky
Mhm.
5. Okay, I'll give you guys that one. It's not a good movie. I just have fun with it. But so I'll leave out Rocky 5. There's a bunch of examples of Stallone's filmography that are fantastic. The critics don't like them, and every time I'm like, that is not even close to correct.
Yeah.
These films are awesome. It's always I feel like it's just because they went so much more into action, just fun direction. The critics have never forgiven Stallone because there's no way these films would have been so horribly reviewed if they came out today.
I'll
That's the
agree with you on that. Do you see the next one from Godzilla?
Yeah, I'll be getting to it. Okay, I think Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 is the best villain of the three.
What do you think?
He's not as he in some ways he's the most despicable. They just don't utilize as despicably because it's meant to kind of be a third act plot twist, if you can call it that, even if it's kind of obvious.
I
It has a great arc for Star Lord, and the ending is a gut punch. Yeah, I agree. Like a Yondu, especially, is a great ending.
I'll agree with it. The Yondu thing, I think that could be the most emotional scene in all the Guardians movies, and there's a lot of emotion in a lot of
Oh
them.
yeah,
I will definitely agree with that. I still think that Volume 3 has the best villain. I think he's the High Evolutionary. He's a pure evil villain. There's no nuance to him. He's just straight the devil.
like
Terrible person. He's trash. But that's what they were going for. They wanted to make a villain that you just straight up hate, and they did their job.
It's
So
harder to do with Volume 2 because they cast the most awful person to do that. They cast Kurt
mhm.
Russell,
Yeah, like
who is debatably the most charismatic actor in Hollywood at the moment when it comes to just playing a villain. Like
Mhm.
other than someone like maybe Will Smith. I'm gonna hear the slap comments coming, but
Yeah.
Kurt Russell, like he is so charismatic, and it's like he tries to be evil, and the entire time it's like this guy's Kurt Russell. I'm not gonna hate him. He's awesome, even if they kind of shrug over the fact that this guy kills thousands of like
Yeah.
kids, like it's, and you're still like it's Kurt Russell. No, no, and it's like the High Evolutionary. Maybe because I don't know this guy very well, you hate this guy. I
I,
saw
th-
this.
I think I think something that works more for the High Evolutionary is we're told in an exposition dump that Ego has killed all of his kin, and obviously we find the bones later, but we're not shown that. We see the High Evolutionary kill Rocket's friends who were with a ton of the time in the movie. We see how mean he is to everyone. We see him literally test on Rocket and stitch him up. We see him literally like the sweet little raccoon, like just being nice to him, trying to help him out. We see him correct his every like misstep in everything. Like if he mispronounces a word, he's getting corrected. If he has something that's stupid, he gets corrected.
That
Like
was funny.
I think the High Evolutionary, in my opinion, is the best villain. He's definitely not the best casted villain, like you said. It's Kurt Russell, but even though it's hard to believe Kurt Russell as a villain, he's definitely the best actor that's played any of the villains. And
I'm
then
trying to
I don't
think. He's
we
not.
don't
He's
really
not really known for villains. That's the only other one I
no
can think of is Death Proof. That's the only other one I can think of.
no. I mean, he was in Tombstone, wasn't a villain whatsoever. He's in The Thing, and he's absolutely awesome in The Thing.
Oh yeah,
Not a villain. Um, he's in
the
what's
villain
that movie that John Carpenter also did? It's the action movie, and he's Snake.
Escape from L.A. or New York.
Is it New York? Yeah, New York. Not a villain in
Escape,
that. So
he
yeah,
Escape from L.A., Escape from New York, and then he had one more, Big Trouble in Little China. That one. Yeah, I remember the Godzilla. The villain was too over the top in Guardians 3. If you mean on how evil he is, then I can see that. If you're just saying acting wise, I cannot understand that at all.
I'll agree with that.
Like because in terms of in terms of how horrific he is, he can be over the top. In terms of his acting performance, he's terrifying. Like I remember cowering at that guy in the theater. It's the only MCU film I've seen in the theater. But Chronicles of Yarnia. That's some bold talk coming from the Rotten Tomatoes are worse on Wally than the other. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Wally, and she likes to
Really?
bring that. Nope. It's been a long time. I'm gonna rewatch it soon. I just need to find time.
I recommend a rewatch.
I will. Yeah.
Yeah.
I always give most movies a second chance. I'm gonna do it to the Matrix sequels. I don't want to, but I'm gonna do it.
I honestly
Barbie, I wasn't
mean,
as high on. I wasn't as high on Barbie. I'm gonna give that one a rewatch just to see.
dude, I have this weird thing where I think Barbie is the they're not really the same movie at all, but Barbie is the Fight Club for women, where
Yeah,
both of
it's
them
basically it. It's either that or you maybe Mean Girls.
yeah, like it that's all. I'm just gonna leave it at that. I think you understood what I was talking about. So
Though we might want to need to end the stream so we don't get him shot because he did just say the name. Yeah, but anyway, have you seen that? Have you seen the thing that you just the thing that you just said?
I get what you're saying. Yes, I have. Yeah.
What do you think of that one?
Very, very good, but I would say it's a little overrated.
Finally, someone that actually.
Dude,
I agree with that statement.
no way, dude. I found someone. I found someone, dude. Every time I bring that up, people tell me that I'm just saying that to be cool or to have a different opinion, and I'm like, no.
I know. It's the same thing with something like Reservoir Dogs, Spirited Away, The Godfather, Godfather Part 2, The Godfather Part 3. As you can see, I'm not a fan of the Godfather movies, but yeah, a lot of like there was a guy that was on here that not in past streams that we had a very big falling out with. He was a bit of a jerk to us. Like to just say you only have these opinions to try and get people to respect you, and I don't. Like I got
that's my least favorite thing is when you have an opinion and people are like, yo, you only have that opinion, one, to either agree with everyone or two, disagree with everyone. And it's like, why can't I
why can't I be on the middle? Why can't I be in the middle? Why can't I just have my own opinion? It's not up to you guys. I mean, I'm the one that started this freaking channel. It's not up to you guys.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, man. I mean, I was expecting to get a lot of hate when I did an Everything I Watched last week. And I had Quantum of Solace, a film that most people seem to hate. I have no idea why though. You don't hate Quantum of Solace,
Dude,
right?
Daniel Craig gets way too much hate for his some of his James Bond films. Like I don't understand where they're coming from.
I mean, I
I
know that you're not as high on Casino Royale. Like Spectre and Quantum of Solace are not bad. They are real.
Mhm.
I love those ones. I have no clue what you got. What not you? I have no clue what anyone is talking about.
Yeah.
He's awesome in the role. Like I was surprised that I didn't get as much hate because I had the movie that you just referenced
Yep.
and Arrival below Quantum of Solace.
Dude, it's not. Dude, Arrival's also a movie that gets way too overhyped.
I know
Like,
that. Yeah, I know that overhyped me. I mean, I was really, I might have been above Dune, but the end. Do you know the like the final bit, the ending, the
yes,
twist
that,
that we get?
yeah,
That
yeah.
that it borderline destroyed the ending for me. Like
I
it might be a
some
4 now.
twists don't work. Some twists don't work. I'll just say
Oh, that
that.
one did not work at all. I hated that twist. Yeah. Wait. So wait. What did you think of the? What do you think of the twist in that film?
I don't think I'm with you. I don't want to, because if people are watching, I don't want to spoil anything. So I'm with you. I don't think that it's very great. I'm still excited that I found someone else that doesn't have the same. Oh, Fight Club is just the greatest thing that I've ever seen. So
Yeah, I mean, I love some of. It's my second favorite David Fincher film, but I haven't seen too many of his films. I've seen Alien 3. I've seen that. I've seen The
7,
Killer, and I've seen Seven. Seven is
it's
by
7.
far my favorite. I love that film. Yes, like that
You
film is horrifying. It is horrifying. Like Sloth.
Yeah,
That film, I borderline throw it up. I borderline throw it up when that one came on.
yeah,
And like,
no.
there's so many disturbing ones, especially the one that has the one where the one that's actually kind of an exposition dump. The victim, remember the more victim that basically is just starting to talk about what happened. That one I nearly turned the movie off at. Like it's not that I hated the movie because I
Uh-huh.
loved it, but that was so I was like, oh man, this is just horrific. That might be
No,
why when I did my everything I watched last week, I had the Prestige above it because it's just more rewatchable to me.
mhm.
Because Seven was just horrifying. It's
Yeah, no,
just
7
twist.
is I really like 7. It's
That
very, very
twist
good.
is that twist is a pure kick in the nuts to you. It's just such an emotional. It is unbelievable.
There's nothing like if you have it spoiled for you, beforehand, then you
Oh, I
can't.
didn't.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying you. I'm just saying in general. There's
Yeah.
no way you can like 7. But
Oh,
if you don't know the twist to it and you watch it, there's no other reaction other than what Brad Pitt's character goes through that you're going to have.
yeah. I know. That's like I knew there was a twist. I
Yeah.
didn't know what the twist was, and I was so invested in the story that it was like as soon as they were getting to like the desert type of thing, that's what I was like. Oh wait, this is the ending, and then I was like, then you get the box, and I'm not
Mhm.
saying what's in the box, but what
Yeah.
then I was just like because I thought I had the twist spoiled for me, and that it was that Morgan Freeman gets shot because like the John Doe intentionally manages to convince Brad Pitt that like
Oh
I have
yeah,
no
yeah.
idea that John Doe convinced it's something that I had some weird thing where I thought I was told that John Doe tricks Brad Pitt into shooting Morgan Freeman. So I had that in my head, which might have been the greatest thing because I then had the rug pulled out from under me. And then when we find out what's in the box, like I was messed up for a couple hours. Like that was oh man, that was unbelievable. Got
For
it.
sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes, you got it.
Hold up. Let
Let's
me. You were talking about Dune just a second ago, so I want to ask you a question. So
real quick.
Dune. All right.
Let's answer this real
Yeah,
quick.
yeah.
You have said you will rewatch Wally for like 6 months now.
Come on,
Probably
man.
gonna
Watch
go on-
Wally. I didn't know
probably
this.
gonna go on
I'm with
12.
him. Watch Wally again.
Ronan is definitely the worst of the three villains. Oh yeah, he's a very generic villain.
Agreed.
Godzilla. I do really love the Godfather movie. Ugh. We're gonna bring up the Godfather movies. Let's bring up good movies, guys. Godzilla, mainly the first two. Yeah, I hated the third. Okay, now
All right.
what was the question about Dune?
Here's the question that I have because you were talking about Dune just a second ago. Okay, you've seen Dune Part 2. I just want to confirm.
Yes, I saw that in
Okay.
theaters.
Okay, Dune Part 2, overrated, underrated, or perfectly rated?
Overrated as heck. Like that film when people like the amount of I mean, no offense to the women that you had with the amount of times Doom Part 2 was said in there, I was
Mhm.
getting furious. It wasn't as bad as like the fact that Twilight, the amount of times Twilight was in there, I nearly turned. I'm not gonna say I nearly turned it off. I was getting angry.
Yeah, yeah.
I suffered through that film because when I do my hot takes video, I intentionally watch 2 films just to have an opinion on it, and Twilight was one of them. That film is unwatchable. That's a piece of work. Oh, so yeah, Dune Part 2 is I thought it was good. I never thought it was better than the first. I never thought that it was better than the first film. I always preferred the first film, and I got a lot of hate for it, and I still stand by it. I don't care what anyone says. It's not it. It might not even be my top 10 of 20. Okay, no, I think it's my number 10 of 2024, but it's gonna be knocked down eventually. Probably Joker 2, Alien Romulus, Deadpool 3. One of them's beating it, or probably all 3. What do you think?
Interesting. I am in the camp that it's a little overrated. But as of right now, I still highly enjoyed Dune Part Two. I'm looking for more movies like Dune Part Two that have very set direction of where it wants to go, high profile actors that actually care about the roles they're playing and not being something like The Red Notice or Ghosted and these other Netflix films that are just being made.
Lifeless.
I like Denis Villeneuve a
Mhm.
lot. I like where he's going. Obviously, I know how we both feel about Blade Runner 2049. But I do think it's a little overrated. Now, I still very highly rate Dune Part 2. But I do think when people were calling it The Empire Strikes Back or The Dark Knight, I don't think it hit those levels.
The Dark Knight
Um,
have also gotten hate
now,
recently.
now,
So
now I'm
they've been
interested because
overrated.
I know I have to go relatively soon, but now I'm interested. So you said it's on your 10th best movie that you've seen in 2024 right now. That was probably just a random number that you threw out. What other movies do you have above it? Because as of right now, that's probably what I would put at number one that I've seen.
Yeah, let me take a look at that real quick. Okay, that is Drew's ranking of the Guardians. Okay, what do I have above it? I know I have a couple that are going to get people very ticked off. My favorite film so far of the year is going to be a big hot take. Horizon Part 1.
Have not
I
seen it
loved
yet.
that film. I loved it. Then it's Bad Boys, Ride or Die.
Oh, that one's a hot take, but everyone's entitled to their opinion 100%. So,
Oh, you didn't like it?
oh, I didn't dislike it. I just don't think it's better than Dune Part Two.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh wait, no, it isn't even in my top 10 of the year. Oh yeah, oh boy.
Oh,
Inside Out 2, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, Ordinary Angels. I highly recommend you check that one
I
out too.
I didn't see Ordinary Angels. My grandmother saw it multiple times, and she said she really liked it. But that has Alan Richmond in it, correct?
I believe it does. Yes, it does.
Okay.
And I have Hitman, the Garfield movie above it, The Fall Guy, Arthur the King, and Abigail. I've
You have
seen so far. I have seen
you've seen
36
yeah.
movies this year. So
Okay,
that's
you've
something.
seen you've seen you've seen a ton, so you definitely have what are my thoughts on Blade Runner? They're my two favorite films of all time. Now, when I do my top 10 rankings, I don't include multiple movies from a franchise just because I think that can get a little stale. So I eventually picked the first Blade Runner,
That I yeah
spe-
I
specifically the director's cut over 2049. But if I did do a top 10 movies where I included, it would be Blade Runner and then Blade Runner 2049 at number two. So
about 2 days ago, I rewatched the around the first half of Blade Runner 2049, and I actually have a very hot take for me where I think the only two genuinely fantastic films in Denis Villeneuve's filmography are Prisoners and Blade Runner 2049. All the others are really good, but they're just respectable. Like I'm not the biggest fan of Sicario. I'm really
mhm,
not a big fan of Enemy. Doom 1 and 2, they're very, very good. Same thing with Arrival. And again, Blade Runner 2049 and Prisoners are, I believe, my top 10 of all time. I adore those films.
yeah.
And they are so good. Like Prisoners, so emotionally fantastic. And same thing, Blade Runner 2049, gorgeous film to look at. So they are so good films. But Denis Villeneuve I have no idea. He's just not really for me, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
but
I
yeah.
respect your rate. One of the things I like talking to you about as well is the fact that I don't feel like you're having any opinions that are made because someone else had an opinion of something. Like I think you come up with genuine opinions for yourself, and I think that's something that more people um need to do, rather than agreeing with what everyone says or just being that a-hole that disagrees with what
Yeah.
everyone says. So like, yeah.
Yeah, Across the Spider-Verse, Spirited Away, and the Godfather movies are proof of that.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, but
I'll agree with you on the Godfather movies. I haven't seen Spirited Away. I do really like Across the Spider-Verse, so
do
I
not.
heard you. Yeah, if for all you guys that are watching, I'm about to have to go, but make sure
Yeah,
you keep me on
yeah,
him
we're
about
gonna
Across the
yeah,
Spider-Verse, please. Yeah,
yeah, real quick. But Jason is saying, hey, all, hey, Jason, glad to see you here. I need to get you back on sometime for some sort of Stallone film. I need to do that soon. Godzilla, are you going to watch Sicario Day of Soldado? I don't know how to say it. Sicario 2. We'll just say that at some point. I'm gonna see it eventually. But I think that will do it. And we, anything coming down the pipe soon that we can be aware of for you?
I mean, I'm still working. I'm working on the follow-up video to the women in cinema, because there's
Yep,
proof that there's no bias with
that was impressive.
the men in cinema. I'm running just basically a two-tailed hypothesis test to see if the men get significantly more. That could still prove bias. If not, then it just looks like some of the women had some interesting choices, to say the least, of what their favorite movies are. So that's what I have going on in the works. Every single day I have just daily shorts that come out of just movie scenes and stuff like that. But yeah, that's my big project that I'm working on right now.
If you don't mind, the one that I did for the top 10, can you not use that one? Just like redo that because I
Yeah.
really like how I was in that one. Just
No,
maybe sometime soon. Yeah.
yeah, no, just whatever, any way that you want to do that. If you just wanted to upload a short to your channel and I just put it in the video, any way that you want to do it, since it's going to be using that, you just tell me.
Yeah, either way, it's just it would be good to contribute to that because that was very impressive. But where can we find you on YouTube?
Yeah, on YouTube it's Cade McLean. Just my name on YouTube. So that's CADE and then space and then MACLEAN. And then that's where you find my channel. And I just like to talk about movies.
And after hearing that, I now have a sudden urge to now watch a Die Hard movie with that last name. With me, after all the Spirited Away talk, you can probably expect now. I kind of want to do a very, very, very long and mean review for Spirited Away and just destroy that film, which I will do probably. And
Just as
so
just as
that
long
kind
as
of
it's not Across the Spider-Verse, then I'm good.
Across the Spider-Verse, I also want to do a very nasty review for. I have a lot I could harp on that film for, mainly the humor. I could destroy that humor for days. But again, in the animation, I'm not as high on because it's just so it just hurts my eyes to look at because of the low frame rate. But hopefully we can have Kate on again soon, maybe for a longer like watch along or stream or something. That'll be good. We will be in contact. I know that you're not as high on Instagram. It's going to be much harder. Like if we're talking through YouTube, it's almost impossible for me to do that. So Instagram would be the best way if you want to actually get together for like either on your channel or mine. Instagram is by far the best way, or Letterboxd, but that's again very tricky to navigate. So I would definitely say. So you can just let me know either way, but that is the best way to reach me. And same thing with all you guys, since I have now officially done my first ever interview. If you guys want to reach out on Instagram to give me an interview, again, just do that and we will address this final comment. Die Hard, let's go. Oh yeah, the greatest movie of all time.
All right. Thank you for having me on.
And thank you. Bye.
See you.